Man.
You know, I think I'm hoping that Riz will create his own, because he has a way of kind of just saying something in a very direct, very concise manner.
Oh shit.
Riz will create his own. Riz will create his own.
I've got to do a video about combat.
All right, what's going on, DBI? You know who I am, you know who you are, and if you've read the title of this video, you know what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about combat. Because why? It's combat month. He scares me. So I'm going to do what he says. But yeah, this is going to be a video talking about Dragon Ball Infinity roleplay combat on Page, where we hyper nerds nerd out even harder about the anime that we all watched when we were 8 to 15 years old, and we redo it again by typing it. We're talking about combat. And in the Dragon Ball roleplay universe, Dragon Ball Infinity universe, how does it work on our setting in our page? So the best thing to do is just to talk about why we do it, because it's the setting that we're in. The setting that we're in is Dragon Ball Z, the best one, Dragon Ball GT, trash, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Heroes. We basically are Dragon Ball Heroes, just without all the Dragon Ball lore and canon. So when it comes to actual combat on Page, couple of things that I have noticed, that have been asked, and things that I want to make sure that I'm giving my input on, are a lot of the things that Luke said in his video 2 years ago. I'm 2 years late on making mine, but they kind of still, you know what I mean? So I have some lovely notes over here to kind of help us out. But the first one is, I think when it comes to abilities and skills, is one thing that after tier 0 becomes a problem, and it is that the people become their abilities versus rather than be themselves with their abilities. What do I mean by that? Indon, I'm going to pick on you because you don't do this, but Indon is a genius scientist, and we know him as the winner of the Proving, and he's always working his mind over his body, but he also keeps his body up in shape. I don't know of 4 attacks that Indon has outside of his transformation, other than his Solar Star Crusher ability, which is a testament to Indon the character, because Indon stays his character. He does not become the guy that makes... It's Starforge. It's the Starforge ability. That's what it's called. He does not become the guy who is just the Starforge user. Vis-a-vis, I'm going to pick on myself and say that Ragnios became Mr. Jukin, and that's all that he was really known for, was just he had this ability where he would punch you and it pushes ki through your body, and then that's all he was, because that's all he did. So your abilities, when you're picking them out, yeah, they should be unique, they should be special, but they shouldn't be all that your character becomes once they start picking out their slots and their skills. The other thing is that your attacks, they should have exploits and they should have weaknesses. Why? Well, that's because you're going to be using them on other people, because it's combat month. And that's why you're going to be using them against other people, but that's what makes them balanced, right? If you come up with this ability that says not only can it do X, Y, Z, but if you try to do 1, 2, 3, then it's going to do A, B, C automatically. Haha. So yeah, your attacks should have exploits. They should have weaknesses. The Kamehameha, you can just dodge it. You can just jump to the side, and then you don't get hit with it. Right? Like, that's literally, you can go this way, you can go that way, you can go up, you can go down, you can kind of go back. It can be caught, it can be deflected. Kame has defeated one character that I can remember off the top of my head, and it was Cell. And it was just because it was Beam versus Beam, and Bigger Beam won. and then there it is. Other skills, like special beam cannon, it's got a 5-minute charge time. So if you're sitting there and you're fighting someone 1v1, you can't just say like, hey, wait. Stay there for 5 minutes and then you're screwed. Okay? No. Don't hit me. 5 minutes. Okay? But you're dead afterwards. Okay? What do you mean if I miss? So, like they should have weaknesses. If you come up with a really cool ability, like you can put somebody in an illusion, then yeah, it should be, I don't know, how would you do illusionary jutsu? You yourself are stuck in place. So yeah, you can have them trapped in this dimension where they think up is down, but you yourself in the real world are just standing there looking phased and dumb. So if they have any other ally, they can just come up and sock you or stab you, trap you and take you somewhere. And then you wake up like, ah, crap, that's right. I was standing in the middle of the field, my hand on somebody's head. So yeah, your abilities should have weaknesses. They should have drawbacks. Or they should have, like, I guess, rebound effects to where you've used it so much it's now dealing damage to you. Or, you haven't mastered it, so instead of putting somebody in an illusion, you yourself are also in the illusion with them, and you're both stuck there. Yeah, just something to where if you were to be hit with it, how would you deal with it? That's always going to be my question to you. If you'd be like, hey Riz, how do I get this ability authorized? How would you deal with it? If you come up with a technique and it has absolutely no drawback, then yeah, it's too strong, it's too overpowered. Because remember, guys, we are between the ages, I think the youngest of us is like 17, 18, up to 40-year-old adults. We're still playing pretend, right? we're just not on a playground doing it. We're just on page, but we're playing pretend, saying, well, my character can punch their key into your character's body and do damage, but it's only about as strong as an energy ball, so it's like it does extra damage, but it's not like instant lethal damage. Well, my character can fly and shoot lasers out of their eyes, and they're indestructible, and it's all because I took this ability called Krypton. Haha. Right? So come on, come on. But then the last thing is that combat should be fun. You should come up with abilities that are fun to not only do and be descriptive about, but also fun to deal with and to, put somebody in a hell zone grenade and then say like, yeah, now you got to deal with this. And then the other person is like, oh, this is really cool. I can either, get wrecked, and then after I get my shit kicked in, then I'm going to get back up and it's going to make me look cool because now, I'm Vegeta and you just can't put me down. I'm just always going to get back up. Or you can style on them and be like, yeah, you're going to hit me a couple of times. It's going to do some damage, but I'm going to make myself look cool in this scatter shot Hellzone grenade before it blows me up. And then after that, I'm going to hit you with my shit and you're going to get messed up and it's going to be fun. There's going to be blood everywhere and masked men from the Infinity Dome will be clapping and throwing Zenny like they're at a strip club. So that's what it is when it comes down to abilities. Now, as for the actual busting of Knuckles itself, Luke really covered a lot of this. Sorry, Ike covered a lot of this, but I'm going to kind of reiterate some of the things that he said and kind of add my own twist and flavor to it. But absolutely, you guys should be going into these fights laying out the survey of the land, right? Like, where are we? And I'm just going to take the fight with Koshoro and Nova because it's the one most recent in my mind, but we knew that they were in Nova Sanctuary. They were in this wooded area next to a clearing by a waterfall, standing on opposite sides of a river, right? And in that, Koshoro runs across kind of like the surface of the water, almost like he's running so fast, or maybe he's manipulating his ki a little bit to be running on the surface of the water, and he does the slide. Nova dodges, but then she stomps her feet to put him underwater. And so other than just like I kick at your legs and I jump and kick you in the face, now you're adding the element of not only did I kick you in the face, but now your head's underwater and you have to deal with that. So, you know, Koshoro, if he were, you know, a different character or a stronger character, kind of like powered up so much that it blew the water to the side, and he takes this deep breath, and then when the water comes crashing back in, you know, it sweeps Nova away. You know, he tried to go up the waterfall and she blew it up, so there's all this water going everywhere. Like, that type of stuff for the reader makes it hype. It makes it hype as hell when you are getting the environment involved, when the person can visually see what's going on, or even, you know, add their own tidbits that the text may have missed. But you really want to kind of get the environment involved with it when you're busting knuckles. And then another thing is you want it to be give and take, right? So you got the survey of the land, and, you know, you guys are talking about everything. It's going really good. You're using your abilities. They're using theirs. But if nobody's really taking damage, then it just becomes this, like, awkward, like, stalemate. And Luke said, or sorry, I'm going to keep calling him Luke because that's just his fucking name. Ike said this very well of, yeah, it's not boring if no one's getting hit. Like, to an extent, there is the mastery art of not being punched in the face. That's pretty much what all martial arts is about. How to not be punched in the face and how to punch somebody in the face better than they can punch you. But if you, like in boxing, you don't want to be hit. You just don't want to be hit. But it's also very boring to watch a masterful boxer. Like, people don't like Floyd Mayweather. He's undefeated. It's a feat that probably will never be done and emulated again. But he's boring to watch because he just doesn't get hit. We like the knockouts. We like the bam big hits and then it's over. But again, on page, you take the big hit, you get knocked down, someone does their Masenko barrage on you. You're welcome. And next thing you know, you're getting up and you're punching them to the freaking moon, you know, and there's just back and forth. And then as the reader, you're like, man, they are taking some blows. Who is going to last? Who is going to drop? So yeah, you definitely want to play with it a little bit. You want to be hit. And some other things about combat. What am I missing? So we got we got get hit in the head. Be descriptive with your big attacks, right? When it's needed. So we've all watched the source material. And I don't know if you guys are really privy on Dragon Ball. I know there are a few of you who are like Dragon Ball connoisseurs. That's your favorite part of, you know, Dragon Ball Z. In the sagas, that's your favorite bit. You love Dragon Ball. I want you guys to remember the very first time that we see Goku fire his Kamehameha when he blows up the truck. It's very simple. He cups his hands, goes like this, and bam. He hits the car and it blows up. It doesn't even blow up. I think it just kind of like topples over. And that would be like your average, just, you know, single line limit. Like, yeah, this is what happens, and bam, there you go. But then I want you to think about the Goku versus Vegeta, the Gallic Gun versus the Kaioken x3 Kamehameha Kaioken x4 edition, right? When Goku does that one, it is designed to be this moment. It is a moment. And, you know, his voice is reverberating off the freaking world, right? Like all throughout the mountainside. It depends on if you watch it. I like the ocean dub of that a little bit better because, yeah, they add all the extra effects. The heat of his Kaioken is making all these rocks fly above him. And, you know, Vegeta is up in the air and he's charging his attack. And because of all this energy and all these power levels, the sky is going black as if you're, you know, summoning the eternal dragon. And it's just really cool. And you are almost, I mean, I as a child was like holding my breath the whole time. And then when they clash, how it was almost like this this extra dimension was about to open up because these two powers were hitting each other. And then Goku's knee kicking off the ground when he does the ×4, and it completely engulfs Vegeta, and he's sent flying off on this beam, and then everything kind of comes back and settles down, and the moment's over. But it's a moment, right? It is the moment. I mean, we all have parts of that from wherever, whichever. You know, if it's Dragon Ball, it's Roshi using it to put out the fire. If it's Dragon Ball Z, it's that moment. If it's GT, there probably isn't a moment because that entire series is trash. And if it's Super, it's probably gonna be, I would say, the Ultra Instinct sliding Kame. I mean, I don't think there's a energy blast better than that one in the canon. So yeah, you really want to pump up those moments. Whatever your big attack is, be it, you know, you have the scatter shot, right? Scatter shot is your big attack, and this is supposed to be the thing that ends all fights. Just really put your descriptions in there. Really jump into it. And pour all of your heart and soul into it, so that way we the reader are like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm reading this. Yes, get it, go, and then the explosion, and then again, if you're the one being hit with it, do it justice, right? Don't just say like, oh, that hurt, and then you walk it off. Like, you can embellish on the other side of what that's like. So, you know, if you're Vegeta, you know, explain like the energy waving over you and destroying your armor, and just, you know, the pain that it feels as it burns your body and you fly up into space. You know, you can lift each other up, because I mean, we're all friends here, except for when we're trying to kill each other. So, you know, like, lift up Hypo if he hits you with, I don't even know what Hypo's abilities are, but, you know, he hits you with Trap Ball. It's like, I can't get out of here. This move is too perfect. You know, it's just have fun with it. Again, have fun. Combat should be fun. So you ask me, Riz, you've been talking now for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And now you've still yet to tell me, what about when I just want to throw a punch? Or what if I want to grab somebody and throw them up into the heavens, grab their body again, and bring them down in a heavenly Genesis Buster? I'm glad you asked me that question, because actually we have a couple of rules, implied rules, when it comes to hitting somebody and confirming that. First thing you should always do, you should ask. Yep. You just either send a tell or chat OOC like, hey, is it cool if I grab you, throw you into space, and slam you down into the Earth's core? Yep, sure. Go right ahead. You do that, because man, do I have something for your ass coming after that. And if that doesn't come down to solving the issue, the two parties can't agree, I mean, you can do dice, right? You can say like, hey, I'm going to do some dice out here, and highest number wins. Or you can start to gamble your RP energy. RP energy is something that I don't really use a whole lot. I understand it now. I understand how we should be approaching to use it. But I would say RP energy gamble would be the last thing that I would do. And if it can't be resolved at that point, you know, maybe this just isn't the person you should be role playing with. If you're going that far to where, you know, you ask them, they say no, and you're like, okay, well, can we like use dice? And they're like, nah, I don't want to do dice. You want to do RP energy? Like, nah. Like, maybe it's just a hit they shouldn't take, or maybe you should just, you know, be like, hey, like, okay, well, forget it, and we'll wrap this up, and, you know, you can get an admin involved if you want to, but I really hope we don't have to go down that train, because we're all adults here. But yeah, I mean, if you want to hit somebody, everything should be kind of implied, unless it's something like, you know, a big hit or grab. And it should be up to the other person where they take the hit or not. And that's where the give and take comes in. So rather than say, like, I jump and kick you in the face, it's like, you know, my character leaves the ground and their foot is positioned this way, and now they're soaring to the air, kind of at your face. I'm trying to kick you in the face. I'm alluding that I would like to kick you in the face. And if it makes enough sense on page, the person reading it will be like, okay, yeah, you want to kick me in the face. Sure, yeah, I'll take that kick. Boom. You kicked me in the face. I hit a tree. And then I'm going to get up and I'm going to break this tree and I'm going to swing it in your general direction, hoping to smack you in the body with this tree. You're going to hit me with a tree. I'm going to use my energy blast to break it. I use my energy blast to break your tree. Haha. Now I'm open for you to hit me. Right? So it doesn't have to be every post you hit one another. Person being attacked did some cool defensively, and it's not going to be as bad as being, smacked in half with a tree, and now you can kick them in the back of the head or something like that, right? So you want to play with it. You want to give it a go. What you kind of want to avoid, though, is overly descriptive basic combat. If it's the general melee, that like, we know what you're doing, right? You can say, like, there was an intense exchange of blows. You don't have to say every post, taking a full page break of, well, I lifted my shoulder and I cocked it back and I ducked under and then and then I missed. And then, like, your next post, and if it's like 14 posts of you just doing an uppercut, a hook, and a kick, it's like you're kind of wasting time because that did nothing to advance the story, the plot, or the fight. It was basically just like you were cool. You told us all about how you're supposed to throw an uppercut, but it didn't do anything. So kind of avoid stuff like that, right? If you're going into a 5-page, encyclopedia documentary entry of how the grass shifted when your character started to power up and it had dick all to do with the role play, then yeah, you're kind of just wasting time at that point. So I would skip over that kind of stuff, but you still want to be descriptive. So I leave it up to you to what you deem as overly descriptive and underly descriptive. Nigmas, did I miss anything? No, you just want me to tell people to fight each other? Okay. So yeah, I hope that this kind of helped. I hope that it wasn't a waste of your 25 minutes. Because I really had fun doing this, and I had fun editing this video and, making the intro. There's not going to be an outro. It's just going to be me clicking stop record and then an awkward still. But hey, it's combat month. Y'all should go out there and fight each other. And you should come up with cool and unique abilities that tell a story about your character that can have history, right? I'm personally doing probably going to be at least 4-chapter backstory on why my character has one attack. So, yeah. Go out there and beat each other up. And here's the awkward ending.